You're in love, you're excited, you're planning the wedding of your dreams. But let me ask you something, how well do you really know your partner? I'm not talking about their favorite color or what they like to order at their favorite restaurant. I'm talking about the deep stuff, the core values, the dreams, the fears, the baggage they're bringing into this marriage. You see, folks, nearly half of all marriages end in divorce. And you know why? Because couples waltz down the aisle blinded by love, without truly understanding the person they're vowing to spend the rest of their life with. They haven't addressed the tough questions, the ones that can make or break a relationship. That's why I'm here to tell you that before you say I do, you need to ask yourself some hard-hitting questions. You need to dig deep and understand each other's values, goals, and expectations for the future. Trust me, this is the kind of premarital counseling that can save you years of heartache and regret. Let's talk about values. These are the fundamental beliefs that shape who you are and how you live your life. Do you prioritize family over career? Are you religious? What are your political views? These might seem like topics you can agree to disagree on, but let me tell you, they can become major sources of conflict down the road. Imagine this. You've always dreamed of traveling the world, experiencing new cultures, living life on your own terms. But your partner? Their idea of a good time is settling down in their hometown, having a big family, and putting down roots. See the problem? These differing values can lead to resentment, frustration, and ultimately a feeling of being completely out of sync with your partner. And it's not just about big picture values, it's about the everyday stuff too. How do you approach money? Are you a spender or a saver? How important is cleanliness and order in your life? Do you value spontaneity or do you prefer to plan everything down to the minute? These seemingly small differences can snowball into major arguments if you're not on the same page. Remember, you're not looking for a clone of yourself, but you do need to be fundamentally compatible when it comes to the things that matter most. Don't be afraid to have those tough conversations early on. Talk about your expectations, your deal breakers, and your vision for the future. It's better to address these issues now than to wake up 5 years down the line feeling like you're living with a stranger. Let's talk about money, folks. It's often cited as one of the leading causes of divorce, and for good reason. When you merge your life with another person, you're also merging your finances, and that can be a recipe for disaster if you're not on the same page. It's not just about how much money you make, it's about your attitudes and habits surrounding money. Is one of you a spender and the other a saver? Do you have different ideas about debt? Who's going to be responsible for paying the bills? These are not exactly romantic topics to discuss over candlelight, but they're crucial conversations to have before you walk down the aisle. Think about it. Financial stress can put an enormous strain on a relationship. Arguments about money can quickly escalate into bigger fights about control, respect, and responsibility. And if you're constantly worried about bills, debt, or differing spending habits, it's going to be hard to focus on building a happy and fulfilling life together. Don't let financial issues become a silent killer in your relationship. Be honest with each other about your financial situations, your spending habits, and your financial goals for the future. Create a budget together, discuss your financial expectations, and make sure you're on the same team when it comes to managing your money. Chapter 3. We all come from somewhere, folks. We've all got our own families, our own upbringings, our own set of baggage that we carry with us. And that baggage, it doesn't magically disappear when you say I do. Understanding your partner's family background is crucial because it gives you insight into their values, their communication style, and how they might approach conflict. Did they come from a loud, boisterous family where arguments were commonplace? Or were they raised in a more reserved household where emotions were kept under wraps? Let me tell you a story about a couple I once worked with. They were head over heels in love, but they came from completely different worlds. She came from a family where open communication was key, where they talked about everything, no matter how uncomfortable. He, on the other hand, came from a family where conflict was swept under the rug, where emotions were bottled up and never addressed. You can imagine the clashes that ensued. She felt like he was shutting down every time they had a disagreement, while he felt like she was constantly picking fights and creating drama. They both brought their family dynamics into the relationship, and it created a whole lot of unnecessary conflict. The takeaway here is simple. Talk about your families. Share your experiences, your values, and the lessons you've learned from your upbringing. Understand that your partner's family background will inevitably shape who they are, and be prepared to navigate those differences with empathy and understanding. Chapter 4. Let's face it, folks. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship. The question is, how do you handle it? Do you avoid it at all costs? Do you blow up and then immediately apologize? Or do you shut down and refuse to talk about it? Understanding your partner's conflict resolution style is essential because it can help you navigate disagreements in a healthy and productive way. If you're a talker and your partner's a withdrawer, you're going to run into problems if you don't learn how to meet in the middle. Think about it. If one of you tends to clam up during an argument, the other person might feel like they're talking to a brick wall. This can lead to frustration, resentment, and a feeling of not being heard or understood. On the other hand, if both of you are quick to anger, arguments can quickly escalate into shouting matches that damage the relationship in the long run. The key is to find a way to communicate your needs and feelings in a way that respects your partner's style. If they need some time to cool down before discussing an issue, give them space. If you need to talk things through immediately, find a way to do so calmly and respectfully. Remember, conflict isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's an opportunity to understand each other better, to strengthen your communication, and to build a more solid foundation for your relationship. Chapter 5. You're getting married, folks. This is it, the big time, the merging of two lives into one shared journey. So, where are you going? What are you building towards? What are your dreams, your goals, your aspirations for the future? This isn't just about agreeing on whether or not you want children. It's about painting a picture of your ideal life together. Do you envision a life filled with travel and adventure? Are you both career-driven and ambitious? Or do you crave a simpler life focused on family, community, and personal fulfillment? Imagine this. One of you dreams of retiring early, buying a sailboat and sailing around the world. The other, they're laser-focused on climbing the corporate ladder, working long hours, and achieving financial success. These aren't necessarily deal-breakers, but they require open and honest communication to ensure that you're both on board with the direction your life is heading. Talk about your career goals, your financial aspirations, your desire for children, and your overall vision for the future. Where do you see yourselves in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? The answers to these questions will give you valuable insight into whether your paths are aligned or if you're headed in different directions. Outro. Look, I'm not trying to scare you off of marriage. What I am trying to do is give you a dose of reality. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but it's also hard work. It takes commitment, compromise, and a whole lot of communication. The couples who make it, the ones who thrive year after year, are the ones who took the time to really get to know each other before they said I do. They didn't shy away from the tough questions, they embraced them. They understood that building a strong and lasting relationship requires more than just love. It requires a deep understanding and acceptance of each other's flaws, dreams, and aspirations. So, before you walk down that aisle, make sure you're doing it with your eyes wide open. Ask the hard questions, have those uncomfortable conversations, and go into this marriage with a clear understanding of who you are, who your partner is, and what you both want out of life. Trust me, your future self will thank you.